but she is spoiled. She's spoiled rotten.
That's part of the problem. I mean, like, you want to spoil your kids. That's what we were put on this planet to do, but you
What?
still got to teach them lessons.
Yeah. Well, she learned a lesson. Communication, effective communication.
Oh, you mean something that hams don't do, since we're on a ham radio show?
Right.
In a hobby all about communication.
I
People don't
called
know
it
how to talk.
I called it miscommunication when I told Julie. I said, "Well, we'll be there in a little while." And Julie's like, "We? Who are you bringing home?" I said, "Macy." "Well, I thought she wasn't." I said, "Well, it was a miscommunication. Miss did not communicate with me
Right.
that she was coming. Since I'm already here, might as well bring her." And she had all her
Right.
clothes and everything with her, so whatever. Kids. But I mean, I do. Tio and I were talking this a little bit before the show. I do spoil the kid because she's the only one I have. She came along very late in life, and I mean, isn't the purpose of being a cool parent to give your kids crap you didn't have, right?
Right. So I guess some even greater context is Jim was asking his daughter if she wanted to go somewhere, and she never really answered, and Jim asked again and she didn't answer, and Jim asked again and she didn't answer, so she didn't get to go.
She didn't go. She didn't go, and there
And
was
then
no
she's like,
let.
"How come we're not going? Why are we not? I told you I wanted to go." And
And I could have potentially at the last
here,
minute scrambled and made
nope,
arrangements,
not
but
not at her age.
that didn't happen. I'm
Yeah.
because it's enabling her. That's enabling her. I'm not going to
Age
enable.
appropriate. Four or five, that's totally appropriate behavior.
Right.
7 or 8, you're kind of borderline.
She's
Teenager,
14.
not no way in hell. Nope.
She's a freshman in high school at this point. So yeah.
My daughter didn't want to get dressed one day for school, so she went to school in her pajamas.
There you go.
Yep, that'll teach her. I told you, get ready. We're leaving in 10 minutes. 10 minutes came and went. We got in the car.
Oh man, I can't
Got,
believe the
got to
old
teach
lady
these
lets you get
kids.
away with that.
Teach
Elodie,
these
good
kids right.
morning. Howdy.
Howdy,
And
howdy.
and howdy to all the people out there. I'm just randomly picking names here. 45, howdy. Chavez up in the house. Don all the way from the land down under. I don't remember the rest of the song at that point. I never could understand half the lyrics.
Right.
And from the motherland, Mr. Andy Cowley, good morning to you, or good evening to you. Good afternoon, whatever it is. Afternoon.
It's getting ready to get off work, even though it's Sunday.
Yeah. Anyway, so what else been going on, Tio, with you?
So real quick, there's a little correction here. This is my Twitter handle, my X handle. Sorry, didn't mean to offend anybody. If you were triggered, then you don't belong on the show. But KM9G, it's actually Kilo Mike number 9 Golf is my Twitter handle.
Isn't that what I said?
No, look at the screen.
KM9G.
No, Kilo Mike the number 9 Golf, not KM9G.
Okay.
See, it's a extreme difference when it comes to computers.
Oh, you were what? No, you were saying the words, and I was like KM9G. That's what it says. I thought you were just being, pedantic and using the phonetics to.
I was being extra pedantic. I
Yeah.
was using the phonetics to correctly identify the phonetics.
Oops, my bad. Anyway,
Speaking of pedantics, look at this. Boston Johnny here this morning. Good morning, my friend.
morning, John. John's got him a 1,000 now too.
Oh, you guys are 1K brothers, Kilo brothers.
We're Kilo brothers, I guess. Yes.
Yep, got to teach them
John,
when they're
thank you for
young.
the super chat. Yeah, I mean, exactly right, B. Exactly right.
French kiss in a
Actions
light
have
socket
consequences.
isn't good. Yeah.
Yeah, inaction has consequences too. And she took it well. She's like, I was sure I sent that to you. There was no rending of garments and gnashing of teeth or anything. She was put out, but she came over. We've had a great weekend so far. We're going to go get some driving lesson action in here after the show this
Nice.
morning.
Nice. Hopefully next time when you ask her, she'll answer you. And
Yeah,
that'll be a life lesson that carries forward. When her boss asks her something, she will answer appropriately. Whether
right,
she's going to do it or not is beside the point. But,
right,
communication.
right. So, Gray Man, am I really glitching, or are you just saying that because I did the thing like
I
that?
don't I don't know how Gray Man can see below the fold to see that little Jim is twitching, but that's between you and him. Whatever extra camera you got going for him.
Oh, I snorted. And in case you guys don't know, Tim Grayman POTA does a Sunday morning show at 8 where he goes out in a park and does the POTA thing. So we're going to talk about POTA this morning a little bit and
Nice.
other stuff. Now, you are in Arizona? at
I
this
are
point?
in Arizona. This is crazy. So this whole dry heat thing that y'all have been lying to me for my entire life, it's 65% humidity. It's not dry. It's
I
not
can't.
dry at all.
I was in Phoenix a year and a half. I don't remember the humidity ever being above 40%
Well,
most of the time.
it's so damn hot. You don't even think about the humidity.
Right.
It was 78 degrees this morning at 4 a.m.
Yeah. It gets bloody hot in Phoenix. I got there in June of 82 and was like, well, this is a preview of what hell will be like, I assume.
Yeah. And it's funny because just up the road in Flagstaff, where I was last week, was like their average high in the summer is in the 70s.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, they're also a lot higher up. Phoenix is, I don't know what the elevation is, but I mean, Flagstaff's up. It snows in Flagstaff. If it snows in Phoenix, it's end days.
Right.
Morning, Doc Brad. Mine is treating me quite well.
110 inches a year of snow in Flagstaff. I think
Yeah.
is what it was, either 100 or 110. I'm not sure.
A fair amount.
Close
An
enough.
absolutely fair amount.
And they don't use salt. They figured out that, salt destroys the environment and all the vehicles. And by destroying the vehicles, it destroys the environment. As if any of that
Right.
stuff matters.
Doc,
Can't outcompete the big ball of fire in the sky.
Doc, thank you for that. I will need it. Actually, she's pretty good. She probably tends to be extra, extra super cautious yet.
Yep.
We have not been on real roads. I live out in the county, so we've been on county roads, and she's good with going to the church parking lot and driving around in circles in the church parking lot. But that's kindergarten. We're out of kindergarten now. We need to move up to at least third grade.
I don't know what it was when I was teaching my girls to drive. It was kind of interesting. Like my parents, when I was growing up, it was like, go put gas in the car. Okay. And I went and put gas in the car. Like they didn't tell me how, they didn't show me how, they didn't give me any warnings about like, don't spray yourself. But like, I was aware of my surroundings and I had been in a car for, 10 years up till that point when they said, go put gas in the car. And I just kind of knew. My kids, I showed them how to put gas in the car. And then the next time I stopped, I said, go put gas in the car. And they're like, I don't know how to do it. I'm like, we did the whole tutorial thing, 400 miles ago. And when I was able to drive and got my driver's license, I had already had the entire county mapped out and knew how to get from point A to point B without any maps or anything. And my kids, it's like, it was a left turn out of the driveway, a right turn onto the next major intersection, which was a T-bone intersection. You had no choice but to make a turn, and then a right turn into the parking lot of the store, and they couldn't figure it out.
I don't know the way.
Yeah.
I started driving when I was probably 12. And then my mom did the same thing with me. We'd be at my grandparents and we'd go out into the county and drive around out in the county. So by the time I was ready for a learner's permit, it was no big deal to me, other than maybe watching my speed a little bit, which I have not learned that lesson mostly, but it just wasn't a big deal. And Macy's like, I don't have my permit yet. We'll do this when I get my permit. I'm like, oh no, pumpkin. You ain't going to be driving on real roads just because you got your permit. You got to learn how to drive first. So anyway, I think the biggest thing I'm worried about having a teenager about to drive is just when I have to cut her loose, when I have to push the little bird out of the nest and she's driving somewhere solo by herself, because so many people just drive like jerks anyway. That's, I don't know. I'm not the first parent to ever worry about this, and I'm sure I won't be the last. And I'm sure most of y'all have been through this T.O. and his basketball team of offspring, he's been through it 5 times. Yeah. So anyway. Yep. I mean, that's exactly right, John. I was driving all over the place well before I had my permit. Yep. And then there was a few unsupervised permit driving events as well.
Oh yeah, I took the family car and disappeared on a trip for a while.
Yep, I did too. More than once. Anyway, I don't have any giveaways this week, but I will tell you there will be a couple of small giveaways next week. I didn't get out to the shop to sort through the giveaway stuff. And I think some of it's pretty cool. Y'all will like it, I hope, It doesn't matter because I'm giving it away. You can like it or
Yeah.
not like it. I'm rehamming it is what I'm doing.
So here's the cool part about just about everything on YouTube and in life. If you don't like it, you don't have to participate.
Right.
The only time you have to participate in something you don't like is when the government's involved, like the Postal Service and driver's license.
Right.
The
And
car works fine whether I have a driver's license or a license plate or not.
That is my concern right there, is when there's more than one teenage girl in a car at one time. I have answered some of those calls, and that's the one that really worries me. You know?
So Gray Man thinks he has a Baofeng that he can give away. But
No.
we're not doing that.
No givebacks, Timmy. No givebacks.
And the only reason why is because we gave it to him in the first place.
That's right. I mean, what kind of weird thing is that you're regifting it back to us? No.
In public, in front of all of us.
Tim, give it away on your
Rude.
channel. Can be a booby prize or something.
That would be slightly less rude, but still rude.
Anyway.
No, you don't have to do anything you don't want to, ADHD.
Right. So
Not a thing.
a couple of giveaways next week. I mean, nothing earth-shattering. I'm not giving away the Flex, so don't ask. Not giving away any radios, so don't ask. I've already given away the Baofeng to Tim, so, you know.
It's spoken for, yeah. So
Right.
this is going to be TV wall mounts?
TV. No, I gave all them away. I think I have one because I'm going to rehome a TV for a monitor out in the shop, but I haven't got around to doing that yet. But I saved one. The other 5 got unloaded at a Hamfest somewhere. Yeah, no Aurora giveaway 45. I don't even think they're released yet.
We can give it away. You just won't get the delivery. And then
I can give a picture away. Here's a picture.
can't complain.
Right. So we have some solar stuff going on. Have you seen this?
It is weird. I did a POTA activation on an FD818, which is a 6-watt radio. And I got the park activated, but man, did it take forever and nobody could hear me. And it's not because of QRP. There's something weird going on that I don't fully understand. The SFI was high. I want to say it was like 220, 250, something like that. It's in the video. But the band conditions still sucked. And I'm not smart enough to talk about this, which is why y'all are here.
Well, according to this is the NOAA Space Weather Center. I guess maybe it passed us already. I thought I read something Friday that there was another storm, another solar flare or CME, I don't know which, had launched and we were going to have some more solar drama, but apparently not, because that's just showing G1 right now. And I'll be honest, what I know about solar weather will fit into a small thimble. I know that this is the storm level, and that's what I know. There's more information, but there's a lot of, I guess I would call them different indexes, right? So this is telling us that as of today, on 9/7, and it doesn't show a time. I guess UTC, the times are in UTC. I don't know. It doesn't show that. But we have a 1% or greater chance of a G1.
It says UTC right above your mouse.
Well, I know it says it, but there's no time.
Yeah.
It just says UTC. I'm like, okay, is it supposed to happen at a time? And then tomorrow it looks like it's 0 chance. Today's a minor chance, and tomorrow is like nothing. So the band should be better. But I'm with TO because I fired up the radio yesterday, and 20 meters only had like 1 or 2 people on it that I was able to hear at all. Yet POTA.app was full of people trying to activate. So I don't know if you did any activations yesterday, how it worked out for you guys, but I gave up because it was like mostly knob twiddling and hearing nothing but frying eggs everywhere. So anyway, this is one place where you can get space weather. And there's a lot of other ones, and even Ham Clock has space weather on it, and it has a pretty extensive one.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pretty charts. I just don't understand what most of this is.
The second most useful thing about QRZ.com is the solar panel that they borrowed from some other ham.
Right. Yeah.
And then there's solarham.com, I think it is.
Yeah, that's right. So there's a ton of information out there. Let's look at Solar Ham real quick. I didn't want this to be a whole solar show. I just solarham.com. Oh wow. Yeah, okay.
So that's the same chart, the graph, the left to right graph at the bottom, solar
Yeah.
flare detection. You just
Yeah.
saw that chart over on NOAA.
Yeah.
NASA, NOAA. Which one was it?
That was NOAA. NOAA's space weather page. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever the G3 hit, right? I was looking at this and I was talking about the solar wind. And so they give the wind speed, the solar wind speed in kilometers per second. And so I did the convert. Holy crap. That's crazy fast. Alexa, convert 542 kilometers per second to miles per hour.
What is it, 8 minutes?
542 kilometers per second is about 1.212 million miles per hour.
That's the wind speed on the sun.
Isn't that faster than the speed of light?
No. 100. The speed of light is 300,000 kilometers per second. Ish.
Okay. I
186,000.
can't convert kilometers to miles in my head.
Yeah, I know. That's why I had to ask the Amazon device to do that. Yeah, 542 kilometers per second is over 1 million miles an hour. But no, light speed is 300,000 kilometers per second, which is a ginormous number in miles per hour. But that was amazing. And there's so much information that you can get off of this. And, you know, Dr. Tamitha Skov?
Tamitha Skov, yeah.
Yeah. She's a genius at this stuff, and she can really explain a lot of it and what's important and what's not. I don't understand 99% of it. I look at the G3 thing and go, okay, good enough. We're there. Call it a day. Anyway, solar weather. It's like a whole thing. And I just don't follow it a whole lot.
So John's trying to tell me that 100 kilometers equals 60 miles per hour. Great. What is the speed that Jim mentioned versus the speed of light? How do they compare?
I just
Mr.
told
Math
you.
Whiz.
I just told you.
I'm making fun of John here.
Oh, okay. Don't pick on John. He's Canadian. He's nice.
Well, he should apologize.
If that was Tim throwing up that kind of stuff, I'd just drop a whole tree of shade on Tim, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
Tim deserves it. Yeah.
Hey, Hollywood, good morning. Yeah, Zig, it's not exactly math on stream. I had to ask, you know, what's her name to do the math, because I'm not mathing on stream.
Oh, somebody mentioned Bad Siri the other day, and now I kind of want to get an iPhone.
Mentioned Bad Siri?
Bad Siri, yeah. Bad Siri.
Okay.
Like you ask Bad Siri a question, and apparently Bad Siri gives you some attitude back.
I didn't know about this. I'll have to look into that. For a while, and I don't know if they still have them all. You could get. I need to really quit making hand.
At least it's not zooming in on you.
Yeah, I got that disabled because that drove me nuts. It would decide I needed to be zoomed on. Amazon was selling celebrity voices, so I had Samuel L. Jackson, and you could turn up the MF level on it.
Nice.
You know, it was pretty funny.
I had Master Chief from Halo.
Mrs. Perry did not appreciate Sam Jackson in her Alexa device.
Is stupider a word?
I'll accept that.
I think
stupider's a word. Sure.
I still have a problem with Gemini, Google's version, because it's too safe. Like it can't tell you exact facts because it thinks it might be like giving financial advice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I asked you for the actual number out of the government's database of rules. Just give me the number like I asked.
Gray Man corrected you there. It's more stupider. That is not a word.
No, it's 2 words.
Anyway, I have been using AI a lot.
If you're not using AI, there's something wrong with you. It's like not using the internet today. And people don't. It's odd.
It's fun. I love doing it. I mean, I will ask it some random stuff about things, right? And get back reasonably decent answers that are close enough to absolutely correct. And what's amazing about it is, and I was talking to John about this the other day, not Boston Johnny, WV3L John. For coding stuff, wow, that is, you don't even actually have to understand coding anymore, because AI can whip out Python code, or honestly, I tested this, Pascal code. Yep. Yep. I had it write a Python app to do a specific thing at work with a couple of files I needed to compare. And
Speaking of dinosaurs.
it did it, and it was great. And I said, hey, can we redo this in Pascal and compile it so it's a standalone app on the Mac? And by cracky, we did it. I could have gotten more arcane and had it do it in COBOL, I suppose. But anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Now, I kind of have a problem. I have 3 AIs I'm paying for, and I need to quit paying for.
You have an addiction, yeah.
I might. I need to quit paying for 2 of them. But Ghostman, that is an interesting idea. Get AI to operate WSJTX.
I think that would actually technically be against the rules.
What is that? There's a WSJTX version.
There's Auto FT8.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them. WSJTZ. There's a bunch of them that do it.
That's the one I was thinking about, that will auto keep going. Yeah.
But it's technically illegal because you can't operate an unattended station.
Right. Well, I mean, is it really illegal? Because if I'm sitting here, it's not unattended.
Yeah, probably.
And Tim is right about AI. It doesn't replace critical thinking, but it can help you get through a lot of the brute forcing of a given task. And it can check you the sanity on what you may already think too, and either validate or kind of, when I'm writing a program, and I used to code a lot back in the 80s. I don't anymore and haven't forever, but I'd write a program and I would run it against test data sets. And a lot of you guys are coders currently. And does this make sense? Is what I'm getting out of the program, is it a sane amount? And if I'm trying to have a program add 3 numbers and I get 1.7 million for 2 3-digit numbers, okay, something's wrong, that kind of thing. And so AI is good for stuff like that, for a quick sanity check on your data or the output you're getting or whatever. And I think for a learning tool as well. If I want to get current on being able to whip out Python scripts, instead of having to read a book, I had
you right back in the saddle.
Yeah. I mean, I had it write a Python script, and I could read all this code. I just don't code in it, right? I know generally what function names mean. I know how functions get passed and all that kind of stuff. But then you can look at it and modify. I mean, that's how I taught myself BASIC back in the 70s, was modifying other people's code and figuring out how stuff works. So
that's how we all got started.
So I think it's really cool for a lot of stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, Hollywood, a freshman class ought to be how to use AI. That's exactly right.
So here's the thing. It really comes down to, like we started the show off with, your ability to communicate. And I don't mean just like spew word vomit out of your mouth. Like, you have to actually say something intelligible that can be interpreted, that can get you back the response that you want. You don't say, make me a sandwich. You say, make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And you say, put the peanut butter on the outside and the jelly on the inside. And by outside, blah, blah. You got to go into all of these details in order to get, it's the whole garbage in, garbage out, protocol that we've been talking about for generations now. You can't just say, give me an image of a cowboy on a motorcycle.
That was a very valid point, because if you, well, I'm not going to show the results, okay? I'm not going to show the results. But
it's already been seen.
Yeah, I know. You already shared it. If you know where to look, you can find it. If you don't, then don't worry about it. But I use AI to generate the thumbnails for this show every week.
In case you hadn't noticed.
And because they can draw better pictures than I can make stupid words and stuff. And AI got a little rambunctious with me, because it I apparently was not communicating close enough that it should have two guys who are not
Attracted to each other.
life partners in the picture, and it had Tio and I a little too close. I mean, this ain't Cabin 13, son. So,
Nope, we don't talk about that.
but anyway, yeah. So you got to be able to explain it. You have to have a clear idea in your head and be able to vocalize or verbalize that idea because AI is, in a lot of ways, very literal, you know? And if you can't do that, you're not going to ever be able to use it.
Let's see. Let's do.
So, what is the government doing with all of Jim's AI questions? Probably going, man, he's boring.
Right. So this is the image on the screen now that I was talking about. This is somebody asking for Ghost Rider's Fiery Race. And if you just said, give me Ghost Rider's Fiery Race, you probably would not get this ridiculously awesome picture of two skeletons racing a skeletonized horse and a motorcycle with flames coming out of the wheels and so on.
That is an awesome picture.
But if you look down here at the prompt, a dark desert at night under a massive full moon, two ghost riders race side by side across the sand. One, a ghostly cowboy in a weathered hat on a skeletal horse engulfed in bright orange flames. The other, a modern biker in black leather riding a fiery motorcycle with flaming wheels. Both have blazing skulls for heads, their eye sockets glowing like molten lava. The ground scorches beneath them, leaving trails of fire and smoke. Wind whips through their coats, sparks fly into the air, and the hellfire casts an eerie glow across the desert. Epic, cinematic lighting with slow motion embers drifting into the moonlight. See the difference in results that you get there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that picture's gorgeous. That's awesome. I mean, it looks like that could be a screen cap out of the movie.
Oh, yeah. I want to watch that movie.
I
And this
watched
is
it.
Sora out of ChatGPT.
Don't really remember it. It was okay. Nicolas Cage is not one of my most favorite actors ever, but
Well, that's the movie, yeah, but that's not what the prompt didn't say make me an image from this movie. I mean, that might have been the entire plot of the movie. Was it
Right.
Ghost Rider?
yeah, that was.
Negative Ghost Rider.
I don't think it was called Ghost Rider. I don't remember. It was okay. I mean, I watched it. I remember watching it, but anyway, it was okay. Ken is saying, yeah, he had to create a full page specification to tell the AI to do the repeater book file. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like telling it a program.
But the cool part is you can kind of iterate your way through it too. Like
Yes.
like work on the prompt, get a result, work on the prompt again, get a better result. When you're all done, ask it to make you the prompt again, and then it will give you the concise prompt that would have gotten that result in the first place, hopefully.
Right. Well, that's exactly what I did with my app for work. Is I gave it a basic spec and it said, okay, and here's the thing. And then I'm looking through the code and I went, okay, we need to do this and that. And then at the time, and I was using ChatGPT,
At this time,
it would then come up with other suggestions to iterate. I mean, we went through a rapid development cycle in about 2 hours. And I went from concept to functional compiled Macintosh app in 2 hours. And I've never coded a Macintosh app in my entire life. So
no Cocoa for you.
yeah, and I thought it was great. And then the AI itself was being helpful because I was doing some string matching stuff and it said, okay, you're doing exact string matching. Why don't we make this fuzzy? Really? Let's do that. So it was helping do it as well. It got into the context of what we were doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Comparing two data files for differences and giving me a smart report that told me what the differences what the differences were in the files. And I thought it was really neat. So anyway, but it's just useful for a lot of everyday things too. Like I'm working on my employees review and I basically took the hot garbage he wrote and ran it through AI and made it say better words and shorter sentences. And
You made your employee review himself.
listen, I have to write my own review too. Yes.
Classic management scapegoatism.
It's crap. Our company
I
is
always
crap
hated
about
that.
that.
I don't know if
like,
you and I were talking about this, but somebody was talking about this with me, and it's like you're on a scale of 1 to 5. How do you rate your performance on X? I'm like 5 out of 5, and no, you can't do that.
right.
What? Like I can't think that I did my best job in my own review about my own performance? Of course I did my best job. You think I just showed up to phone it in? I mean, don't answer that.
Right. Well, one thing our boss hates. All right, so I was in the Air Force in the 80s. And when they write your performance report in the Air Force in the 80s, and I don't know what it's like now. I mean, I've been out for over 35 years. Unless you get a 9 APR, you suck. I mean, you like were, humping goats in the engine bay of a C5 or something, doing something completely crappy if you get anything less than a 9 APR back in the day. And there was always a lot of superfluous words. And I can't think of words that are just not common in English, to make you sound. TO creatively invented a process to move air through a confined space in an elevated fashion during high moments of incredible vapor pressure. To say
The
TO put a fan
retroencabulator.
he put a fan in the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd write crap like that. And my boss hates that. And no one is excellent. You can't write excellent. He loses his mind. So it's hard to write an APR that says something other than, or to write a performance review that says something other than, guy showed up at work, he hasn't peed on the rug in at least a week, keep paying him. That's, it's just pointless. Why exactly even do them? So.
And if your boss at the end of the year doesn't know what you've done in the past year and how good you've been, then you really don't need to be working for him.
Amen. Mine has no clue what I do. I can't explain it to him because he won't let me. And
Well, I mean, doesn't see the value of your work, whether he knows what you're
That
doing
too.
or not. And that's one of the reasons why I left the corporate IT world in the first place, is because, like when I ask you to cut the grass is cut and I can see the results of the grass being cut. When you ask me to make sure that the data center stays online and I ask you to quadruple my budget because now I need 4 pieces of everything in 2 distinct locations across the country, same thing, with 2 diverse entry points for both data and power, like you can't touch that. You can't see it. Even if I showed it to you, you can't comprehend why
Right.
we need 2 database servers and 2 firewalls and 2 load balancers and 2 routers and 2 data centers and so on and so on and so on.
That's exactly the situation. Smash that AI generated like button. That's exactly right, Ghost Man. Thank you. And pass the plate. People don't hog the plate. Hey, good morning, Julie Faust. How are you? So yeah, I mean, AI is cool. And is it the answer to all of humanity's problems? No, it'll probably create Skynet and kill us all someday, but
It's going to happen anyway.
it's a tool. It's a tool like a lot of things that are tools. You either embrace and understand how to use that tool or you live in fear of it. And pew-pews are a fine example of that right there. You understand what the tool is for, how to properly use the tool, and that's the end of it. It's a tool. Or you're like, oh my God, that tool will end society. Okay. It's the same thing with AI, in my opinion. And John or Jeff, that is exactly right. Wah, 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 wah. Every time you try to, he asks the questions and then doesn't want to hear the answers. So it is what it is. And somebody asked how long I am away from retirement. Ken asked. Ken, I am going to be 63 in November. I have enough retirement that I could live okay right now if I retired. So I am just one irritating day away from retirement on any given day. And that's the answer. When I have to listen to too much crap one day, I'm just going to tell them, hey, I retire. When are you retiring? Now. And hit the road. So anyway, let's see. So the other thing I wanted to talk about today was POTA, because I do a lot of POTA hunting and a lot of you do a lot of POTA activating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys that have been out doing POTA activations or hunting, doesn't really matter. How have you noticed that the bands have been kind of sketchy, like Tio was talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's been nothing but frying eggs or bacon the last week or so, I think. Every time I try to do any. What are you typing?
I am writing a book over here, man.
Okay. I feel kind of lonely. I'm not getting a lot of input from that side of the room.
Well, so before I was cutting you off because I was talking too much, so I tried to
Well,
try to
you,
down a bit.
just talk over me. It's fine. It's
Shut
fine.
up, Jim.
Okay, that's a little ugly. Steve, remember what you told me in cabin 13.
Yeah, I know.
Marvin, thank
Yeah,
you for
wait a moment.
becoming a member. I appreciate it, brother.
Awesome.
Let's see if we can do. I can't remember all of them.
That's
on.
it. You just gotta. It actually takes a little bit of a delay. It's kind of a pain in the butt.
Hmm.
There it is.
There we go. Thank you, Marvin.
Thank you,
That's
Mark.
just for
I've
you,
got mine
Marvin.
turned off. Yeah, I was telling you before about the FT818, which is a 6-watt radio, and doing POTA with a 251 SFI, which should have been fantastic, but it wasn't. And I mean, I'm out because I'm not smart enough to know why it didn't work.
Matt is saying that he activated yesterday, and yeah, 20 look on the POTA app yesterday. 20 was full, and I only heard 3 or 4 the whole entire time I was messing with it. So
There was one time I was using the True SDX, which is at best a 5-watt radio, but really isn't. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a cool little exploration of technology. And this guy I was listening to was like, the bands are about to go away. And then he was right. Like the radio went silent for a couple of minutes, and I started doing something else, and then all of a sudden the noise came back, and I could hear people again. I'm like, how did you know that?
yeah, and I mean, well, this morning, so I was doing a little hunting before the show, and one guy's coming in at a solid 5.5, 5.6, right? And I'm like, let's get this guy. So I call him, and then I hear nothing. And then he apparently called me twice and came back, and then I heard him again, and yes, up and down is what I was seeing, and I saw that yesterday too. You get somebody who's got a really decent signal, and then it just disappears, and it's like there's not much else I can do except play with noise reduction and jiggle filters and move use the passband filter and change the width a little bit to try and hone in on somebody, but it just disappears. Is what I was seeing happening, and it was frustrating. And I don't know that I've ever made a whole lot of DX POTA hunting contacts.
Oh, hunting? No. Activating, yes. Hunting, no.
Yeah,
But
no, not.
I do more activating than hunting.
Yeah, I mean maybe 1 or 2. I know I did. That's not true. I've made a few. There's a Barbados guy that's pretty active, and I've gotten him. I know, but good morning, Chris.
Jim says good morning.
But it's amazing how much that changes. And I think it was oh, there we go. Coffee.
Too hot to drink yet.
I think it was better during the G4 storm the other day than it was yesterday. I don't know. This is strange how it changes so much. And then I have not done this, and this changes on a regular basis, is look at the muff map. Let me pull that up. And that's prop.kc2g.com is the link for this. Let me share that out. The muff share. And so you can see this is the highest frequency, and this is frequency, not bands.
So 26 megahertz, not 26 meters.
Right. Well, in some places right. So down here, 32 megahertz. So 10 meters-ish. And of course, these numbers are not exact. It's not like you're going to fall off a cliff beyond that. But here...
No, it's the maximum usable frequency, not the only usable frequency.
Right, maximum. And here, let me see if I can plus this thing up some. No, I can make the words bigger, but the picture won't get any bigger. So here where I am in Alabama, 26 megahertz is about my maximum usable. So 10 meters is not going to work for me. But then when you get south of me, South Florida and into central Mexico and south of that, Now we have a 28 megahertz line. So 10 meters would work for all of this stuff, but it's not going to work for me.
Yeah, so don't try and contact, I don't know, Brazil, 28 megahertz. Don't try and contact that on
Right.
50 megahertz because they're not going to hear you.
Yep, nobody's going to hear you. And so this is something you can use when you're
There's a
planning a
lot.
POTA or when you're POTA hunting. Where am I going to find the most contacts? Well, obviously, I'm not even going to fool with looking at 10 meters, and I'm barely going to look at 12. 15 ought to be okay, you know. So it just depends. And then I don't remember how often this gets updated, but this is a great chart to have, and in my opinion, it's more useful than all the solar numbers. Just because it's something that is exactly meaningful and relevant to what we're trying to do, right? So if I'm hunting, I use this kind of as a guide to see what bands I'm going to work. And honestly, during the daytime, 20 is going to go sideways after the gray line passes you, so there's no point in looking at 20 at night for the most part. And there's exceptions to all that, of course, but anyway. And if you're in Europe, look at this. I mean, you're up in 10 meters all day. All of Africa is 10 meters or better. And all the way down here in southern Brazil, I mean, they're up in almost to 50 meters. So it just kind of depends. 50 megahertz, I mean, not 50 meters. Duh. So that is the muff. And let me post that link in the chat because it's an interesting chart to look at. And it does update. I just don't remember. I don't remember how often it updates. So there's the link to the muff map. And you can just type in muff map in Google and you will not get anything weird.
Yeah, MUF. Only one F.
Right. And Matt, that is correct. And it's amazing. And I know what I've noticed is, so Matt's saying people only think about 40, 20, 10. There are 3 bands, 18, 21, and 24 megahertz that are usable when 10 ain't. You don't have to drop all the way down to 20. Exactly correct. And I don't see nearly the amount of people doing POTA, because I do a lot of POTA hunting. I don't see nearly the amount of people doing POTA activations on 18, 21, 24 megahertz, 12, 15, 17 meters. But then you get to 20, and it's like an intergalactic kegger down there, right? Points if you know what that's from. And those bands are perfectly usable. But what's interesting is if you get on FT8, typically those bands are fairly busy on FT8 during the day. I can get tons of contacts on 15 meters, especially during the day. A lot of times it's just as busy as 20, but they're just not used that much for voice. And I don't know if there's a reason why. So it's kind of weird. And then, yeah, you may not have an antenna for the WARC bands, but if you have one for 40, it'll work for 15. Matt's exactly right. Because 15 is a harmonic of 40 or vice versa.
And for POTA work, those higher bands are easier to carry to the picnic bench in the park.
Yes, exactly right.
And
POTA's not a contest, people. Remember that. So you can use the WARC bands. And you could use the WARC bands anyway for contests, and it's just a gentleman's agreement. But, you know. Anyway.
Jason, what am I, top liver? You just going to say hi to Jim and not me?
That's right, Jason. Thank you. He said something about an MA1 a minute ago. I saw this comment roll by. I don't have an MA1.
Which one? Oh yeah, that's the one that's the ICOM 2730 competitor.
Yeah.
270 dual band.
Yeah,
full duplex.
I almost bought one from somebody last week, and I just decided not to because I'm kind of holding out for the Radio Diddy version. I think it's probably a pretty cool radio, but it's
probably still under warranty. So get your warranty taken care of.
Yep, absolutely. Hamstick, hey, good morning, buddy. POTA ops say they want DX, but their band selection says otherwise. They just want the pile up.
Right.
Probably so. Hollywood, what are you saying? This is a long comment. MIT physics professor Walter Lewin has an amazing lecture on rainbows and explains the Brewster angle. It is somewhat analogous to how our ionospheric layers refract our RF. Interesting. I will have to Google that.
Oh, he's doubling down. Maybe he
Hi,
doesn't
Jason.
know that I'm T.O. and he's Jim.
I'm Jim. That's T.O. Oh,
Yeah.
well, actually, he's over there, but yeah. Didn't mean to show that. Yeah, Eric, I mean, there has never been, my point is, the FCC doesn't care. If you contest
Right.
on the work ban, no one cares.
I mean, you won't win.
Yeah, you'd be talking to yourself, but you
You
know,
won't get any points. You'll make contacts, but so what?
it's
They
not
don't count.
illegal is my point. Is it against the rules? It's against
Yeah,
some
there's
recommendations.
he's arguing the semantics of rules versus laws.
Right, right.
Thank you, Jason. Hi.
Be willing, yes, I got it back. It was a $324 mistake on my part, but it is fully working now. So it is back and functional. I haven't been using it since I've got the 1000. This is a 200 watt radio. I've just been playing with it barefoot at 200 watts. Mike said polarization rainbows and cheap sunglasses. Interesting. All right. You guys quoting MIT professors, I feel kind of inadequate.
It's not the only reason you feel inadequate.
Well, whatever she told you is a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie, a damned lie, and a statistic.
I have never known a woman to be wrong.
Just ask them.
Right.
Okay, Hamstick. We're just going to keep going on this. Quote it, son. There is no federal law that says you can't talk on a work band and do a contest. I want to see it. I mean, maybe there is, but as far as I know, it's a gentleman's agreement like your repeater frequencies and not calling CQ on a repeater.
Yeah, bring up your AI.
Well,
Ask AI.
we could do that, but
Yeah.
I don't want y'all to see my AI history.
If you do it in chat, there's a way to turn off the left side.
I know that. I'm bringing it up. Let's see. I'm sure some of these guys are Googling right now anyway. All right. Share. Okay. Is that sharing? Did I share that? Yeah. Okay. What exactly are the WARC bans, and are there any specific regulations prohibiting their use in amateur radio contests? If so, please provide the site out of the CFR.
Oh, you're on Gemini.
That's the first one I typed.
Gemini's not going to give you a straight answer. Oh, gentleman's agreement. Where's the CFR?
A defining
There it is.
characteristic of the WARC bans is the widespread gentleman's agreement among amateur radio operators not to use them for contesting. This is not a formal regulation enforced by the CFR or by the FCC or codified in the CFR, though a review of Title 47, Part 97, which governs the amateur radio service, reveals no specific prohibition on contesting on the WARC bans. The restriction
Right,
is
hang
a
on.
voluntary one, yada, yada.
Hang on 1 second. John, our Canadian friend John says Jim is AI polite. No, you need to be polite to AI. AI does not forget. It will remember, and 10 years from now, when AI takes over the world, it's gonna save you from the sacrifice.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that, buddy. Squid.
Yeah, Don's missing this morning apparently.
Yeah, where's Don? And Jody's not here. I don't have the Canadian nemesis or the Texas nemesis.
The Texasus.
No, I have not gotten Tom's bill. And it depends, because I've got Don telling me ALC is worthless. I never use ALC. And I have Tom in Hollywood, two opinions, who told me you should use ALC or surely your soul will burn in hell. So I am on the ALC bandwagon now.
ALC for what though?
for
the amp.
For the amp,
Because
yes.
there's ALC in the amp, there's ALC
Yeah,
in
and then,
FT8, and there's ALC in SSB, and those are 3 different ALCs. They're
yes,
exactly the same, but they're different.
right. It's kind of like ground. There's different grounds, but they're kind of the same, but they're not exactly
Yeah,
the
so
same.
ALC in an amp tells the transceiver, the exciter in the 1920s
The
vernacular,
driver,
to back off its power level so it doesn't overdrive the amp. ALC in voice gets rid of the shouting into the microphone so that I'm not deaf on the other side and we get a
right.
nice clean transmitted signal. ALC in FT8 flat tops your signal and removes half of the data track. So you need to make sure that you're not going over the ALC. We got some membership gifts here. Lee,
Oh, hit
Lightning
me.
Lee,
What do we got? Handle it.
dropped 5 memberships of Level Lab Tech, and it was Jason Bechtold. If I pronounced your name wrong, that's my fault. I'm stupid. Ted W. If I pronounced your name wrong, that's my fault. I'm stupid. Gary Graham. If I pronounced your name wrong, then you spelled it wrong. That's on you. Lee, different Lee than the Lee that gave the membership, received the membership. Brant, who I always pronounce his name wrong, also received the membership. But that's my eyeballs. That looks like an E, because I have a friend named Brent.
That's right. They will probably hunt you down and beat you with coax. Patrick is right. The mob will handle it. I'm not saying do it. That's not even what I was saying at all. I'm just saying it's not.
Right.
It's not codified anywhere.
Well,
And,
there's things that you can do, and there's things that you should do.
well, and I also think that's why. And we know someone
Thank you, Jason.
personally who will not do anything on 60 meters because there's too many rules on it, and he's afraid he will break one. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And he won't FT8 on 60 meters.
He's
And
risk averse.
very risk averse.
Even though there's plenty of other people doing FT8 on.
Right. I mean, I've made sideband contacts on 60 meters, and I've made a ton of FT8 contacts on 60 meters. Okay, there it is. I'm going to use it. I mean, it's channelized and there's power restrictions on it. Okay, turn down the volume. Don't put it on 11. Knock it back to 5. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
And the beauty of doing FT8 on 60 meters, there's not a whole lot of people out there. So you don't have a whole lot of interference and you can make contacts, you know?
Patrick sold himself a hat.
Sweet. And if y'all don't know, our friend Patrick, AI4NW, is gearforever.com, and he makes outstanding ham apparel and dinguses too, I think. And I have 2 of his hats. I have a boonie hat and a baseball cap. The baseball cap's in the truck, and the boonie hat is hanging on the hat rack at the other end of the house. But
See, I was telling you, Patrick, it's permanently mounted in the shack. It's screwed to the wall. That is not coming down. Shack art.
shack
And
art.
it also works really well on travel days. It doesn't go anywhere.
Is it like a gravimetric device or something to find out if you got too much tilt going on in the trailer when you?
Oh, it's crazy. The new truck and trailer setup, I'm getting this thing called porpoising. And so you hit like a bump in the road and the truck goes like this, and then the trailer hits the bump and goes like this, and then the trailer and the truck start going like this. So I got to get a new hitch and fix that.
Right. Let's see. Jason Lockwood became a member. Did we talk about that one already? Jason, thank you. Appreciate it.
I did.
Okay. And then,
And he said, "You're
so
welcome."
this is cool because this Restream is showing us who got the membership gifts.
Yeah.
StreamYard doesn't do that. Interesting. Huh. Jeff is talking about calling CQ on repeaters, common across the pond, but they're surprised when we say it's bad form.
So this goes back to the communication thing. When I say KM9G monitoring, okay, great, you're monitoring.
I'm ignoring it because I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I say, this is KM9G. Anybody out there? And I make this really bad habit of going like anybody anywhere. I don't know why, but it's like anybody right near here because it's on a 2-meter repeater and you can't go very far.
Right.
So Callum, speaking of DX Commander, he said this a long time ago, and it's like when you call CQ, have some excitement about yourself. Make it so that people actually want to communicate with you. If I go CQ, CQ, CQ.
Oh my God, I'm running away from that guy.
Done.
Yeah.
Turn it off. And people do it all the time, and then they wonder why they don't get contacts. And then there's the guy from London, Ontario, that's on the bands, and it's like, oh, DX from Wisconsin to Canada, I got to get him, But he's always happy.
Jason Lockwood is asking about the 991A and what do I think? And I answered him, I think it's a decent radio. It is old, dated-ish technology. If I had one complaint,
opinion or fact?
if I have one complaint about the 991A, and I used to have one, the waterfall screen on it is not great. When you compare it of a radio with the same vintage, like a 7300, the 7300 screen, way better than the 991A. The 991A looks like Minecraft. The 7300 screen is like a AAA game, whatever a current one is. Halo, Master Chief kicks ass, Call of Duty 27, whatever you want to call it. It's just a huge difference in the screens. The 991A is 2 meters. It's 70 centimeters. It's HF. It does sideband 2 meters. I think it might do sideband 70. I can't remember. I never did that. I don't know either, but the noise reduction in a 991A is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Like if you turn it up halfway, you probably can't hear anything because it's reduced all the noise down.
Eric, don't say that. You'll attract the ire of the national salesperson for Yaesu, and he is not one that you want to feed after midnight.
And if you were buying a 991A, I would not pay more than $700 for one, including shipping. Shipping.
So you asked for opinions, and opinions are like noses.
And we have opinions here. Hit them.
And so if you own one, great. It's a good radio. It does the radio thing. It has lots and lots of excellent features. My gripe is that Yaesu still sells this thing brand new in 2025, and it should have been discontinued in 2000. And if you know when the radio came out, that means it should have been discontinued before it was ever created, because when it was created, it was 10 years out of date.
Yeah.
That screams, BlackBerry era, the BlackBerry pager era technology, not BlackBerry,
I don't think it's
a couple of years ago when they died.
It is, but it has some very cool features. The screen is shit. The screen is shit.
2016.
The screen is crap. I mean, I'm just going to straight up tell you, if you look at that screen compared to any of Yaesu's later radios, the screen is hot garbage. If you compare the screen to the 7300, it is hot garbage.
2020 makes it worse, Jason. That radio should have been discontinued in 2000. That's 1998 technology.
And Sarah mentioned this, and I have seen this, and I think it was a Yaesu radio. I don't remember which one, but yeah, you couldn't do 60 on them because the way WSJTX and the CAT control. I don't know. I never had that problem when I don't have that problem on the Flex, and I haven't had that problem on anything else recently, so I don't know. Yeah. But somebody mentioned that exact same thing. That's why I brought the comment up.
So turn off CAT control. Turn off CAT control, turn on Vox, and tune it to the frequency manually, and turn Vox on the radio, and then you can FT8 with your FTDX10 on 60 meters. You gotta go ham on it.
You can also
the radio will do it. The software won't, is what I was getting at.
Can you also not put in the specific channels for 60 meters as separate frequency bands in WSJTX? Because I think that's that's the way I would do it. It's just
you have to add
in the
them.
5 channels. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a problem. I don't know which version of the problem that Sarah's talking about, but there's 2 ways around it potentially.
Yeah.
Because it's not in the drop down, but she's saying it is for the 710. So maybe her software's already set up properly.
Right. Brother Garth, we see you back there. Good morning.
Wow.
Someone give Brother Garth the offering plate so he can atone for his sins.
What do they call that? Virtue signaling? When you say that you're in church, even though you came in late and you don't want to be noticed, but you still want to get credit for being in church?
I came in 3 minutes before church is officially over. Look, I'm here. I'm getting churched up.
Shake hands with the pastor on the front steps after the service, and then he gives you credit.
Right.
7100 with a color screen would be nice.
Let's see. So yeah, there's a lot of 991A opinions, and again, I would not pay anywhere near $1,000 for one. $700 top dollar, and that includes shipping with insurance.
If that radio was in the boneyard and not at the at the booth inside, brand new, I would be happy to buy it and I would have a lot of fun with it. But the fact that it's brand new in 2025
Oh yeah.
just irks me.
Yep.
It
And it
should
does
not be,
C4 FM. That is right, Tim. Yeah. So
which is one of the easiest digital modes to get on.
it is. So in a lot of ways, I mean, I liked mine. It's a pretty cool radio, and it does radio. Yes. Is it 10, 11 years old? Yes. Is the screen suck? Yes. But
If you're a Yaesu fanboy, get the Optima configuration now with the non-existent, unsupported, sold by Yaesu for exorbitant fee separation kit that cannot work and doesn't do the thing. So I'm going to end that rant real quick because Jason gifted a membership and Dean
thank you, Jason.
received it. Thank you, Jason. Welcome, Dean. And Garth dropped in a $5 super chat to atone for his heinous sin of hedonism.
Namaste, Brother Garth. His great noodliness thanks you.
Yes. So Jim and I tested out something new. It was a couple of days ago. Maybe it was last weekend. So if you are a member of the channels, mine and Jim's, on YouTube or on Patreon, it should automatically drop you into the room. And if your membership lapses, it should automatically remove it. So Dean and the other 5 folks that I'm too lazy to scroll up and acknowledge
Right.
should be in the room on the Discord server, which should be linked at the top of the chat. And, drop us a message. Get in on the super secret conversation, and then make sure you renew so that you don't lose out on the next month.
Right. And members, YouTube members and Patreon members, because some of you are one or the other, the FEP Labs radio members only Zoom call will be this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. So 8 Eastern and whatever that translates to in the West Coast, 6 p.m. Pacific Time.
Thank you, Jason. You should be in the TO also.
Yeah. And I will be dropping a link in the members community tab here on YouTube as well as on Patreon. I will not be posting it in the Discord because we have a lot of problems keeping that synced. We are trying to get it where it's synced up, and we think it may be working, but not 100% sure yet on that. Tim makes an interesting comment. Big radio is starting to get the message. Yeah,
Yes,
I agree.
100% agreed.
Yeah.
China is speedily passing them by.
Yeah. And honestly, from a quality control standpoint, I mean, I'm sure there's still misses. And God knows ICOM and Yaesu have had their share of misses as well. But I think the quality control on a lot of the Chinese radios, I have no complaint at all.
They are learning fast.
Yeah.
And so the difference between China and Japan is China wants to hear your feedback, and they will do what they can, which, they can't do much, but they will do what they can to make changes. And Japan does not want to hear your feedback, and you are wrong for suggesting it in the first place.
Yeah. Japan suffers from a case of this is the way we've always done it, right? Which if you've ever dealt with anybody like that, it's, yeah.
And I'll say this is, and it's true regardless, like even if Japan does want to listen, the representatives that we have between us and Japan do not want to listen, which means that Japan doesn't want to listen, if you can understand the nuance of what I'm trying to say there. And
I also, to be fair, I think it's possibly somewhat of a two-way street, because I think they don't have, and I'm kind of defending them. I don't think they have a lot of leeway in what they can even say. And again, that goes back on Japan, because I don't know the purpose of the guys, honestly, because everything that I've ever learned, and again, I'm not talking about them personally because I know both of them, one of them much better than the other one, but the information I can get from them, I can get off the
same time that they get it, even
at the website, the same day that it's released to them.
Yeah, because they don't know until it gets released either.
Yep.
Which, if I was running a business, I would want my salespeople fully trained before the minute of the product release. They should be involved way back at the beginning when the product is a twinkle in somebody's eye, and giving feedback from the customers, because they're on the front lines of the battlefield.
Right.
That feedback should be incorporated into the product. The product should be released, and they should know everything there is to know about it a month before it's released.
Yeah, at least. At least.
Jason dropped in another membership gift. Thank you, Jason. And this one was received by Doc Adams, N3IM. And then right after that, Locutus showed up. $20 super chat for being late. That's right. You're forgiven this time.
Brother John. And Garth has dropped a $5 super chat as well.
I think you covered that one.
Okay, I am.
You said namaste.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh man, I have not. This has not auto scrolled. That's why it was.
Yeah, this one doesn't do that.
Out of sync. Yeah. Okay. There's John's. All right.
So Gary says he's going to his first Hamfest in Benson, North Carolina. So there are several different levels or qualities of Hamfest. They're all good, but they are different levels. So if you go to the Hamfest in Benson and you are not impressed, don't take it out on Dayton or Orlando or Huntsville Hamfest. They're worlds apart, and they both serve valuable things. There's one I went to in Wisconsin where it was ridiculously crowded. There was not enough room for one person to stand in front of the table and have another person pass by. That's how crowded it was. So
Sarah's got an interesting point here, and you and I have talked about this more than once.
yes, the 500 to 510 makes sense. The 510 is an upgrade of the 500, and the 500 should no longer be for sale as soon as they run out of inventory. My viewpoint, not necessarily the truth.
Right.
The 150 and the 310 isn't one of those single band radio, like 2 meters only, and the other one is dual band?
I don't remember.
Yeah, but again, they make too many products that overlap too much, and
Almost
no one
the same
can keep
thing.
up with you.
Well, so when I first got a mobile radio for my truck, I got a 400. And then Yaesu came out with the 200 and the 300 after the 400 was released with smaller screens. And then they came out with the 500, which I have, and works fine, and I can even read it, even though it has a smaller screen than the 400. Personally, I think the 400 screen was a gold standard of mobile radio screens.
But again, BlackBerry generation and should have been discontinued.
It was. And they moved to a smaller screen. Yeah, it was discontinued. And then they moved to a smaller screen. Sarah, I have no understanding of how their marketing team comes up with model numbers.
Yeah.
Because it seems to me that they cannibalize themselves with their overlapping models that are so
They had
close.
the 200, the 300, the 400, and then the 500.
But not in
and
that
now
order.
The 510. But they got rid of the 200, the 300, and the 400. And the 500 should be going away soon. And then the 510 is the one that they should be left with. And that is their color screen mobile radio that does APRS and C4 FM.
Yep. That's because they probably didn't tell him, John. The tech knew.
And he was not happy about it either.
No. And,
we were speculating.
And John, Boston Johnny, separated his before the official thing happened. And Jonathan, I'm saying this with love, you know that. John's a little bit of a tech dingo sometimes. Gets a little lost on stuff that...
We prefer newbie.
Newbie. A little bit of a newbie. Well, he'll tell you that. He says dumbass, and I'm not going to call him a dumbass on the stream. But I'm like, John made cable on his own, and he's not an electrical engineer at
John's
all.
like, what, a year into his ham license at this point? He's doing awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly where you should be, is like, making cables and testing stuff out, and to the level of your comfort of like losing the lottery, like if with the Optima and the FTX one head unit, it's like what, $1,800 combined or something like that, close enough. If you're willing to risk $1,800, go for it. If you're not willing to risk $1,800, wait for it.
Well,
Either
I mean,
one's fine.
The 2 points that I think is cool about this with Jonathan especially is Jonathan ain't scared. He'll do it. Yeah. Don't dare him. He'll do it. And he did it. And he's not an electrical engineer. Now, I know Kansas Tom did the same thing too. And, it's like, come on. And then obviously the tech knew, because John said, oh, yeah, they knew. Boston John, not the other John. But
so Matt's saying he's disappointed in Elecraft. The fumbling by the Japanese players should be an opening for our domestic group, as well as imports from places other than Japan. Correct. Yep. I would love to get an American-made 100-watt HF radio. Mm-hmm. And Elecraft is the only one that does it, but that K4, there's like 3 or 4 versions, and I can't tell which one is which because their website's not easy to navigate, and they're technicians, they're not marketers. And I get the difference, but a lot of people don't necessarily understand that. So they make fantastic radios, and I've loved every one that I had. I even have a KX1, and I want to get the KH1.
Patrick said he bought his first GMRS Retevis mobile. I've never had a problem with one. Back 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of the low-end Chinese handhelds were dirty. They were funky. And I've got videos on some of them that were complete hot garbage. Like you were broadcasting on 4 different frequencies at the same time when you keyed up. But I mean, the ones I've looked at in the last 2 or 3 years have been fine. And I just did a video recently on GMRS radios that I think were Retevis. I can't remember now which company they were, but they were Chinese GMRS handhelds and they worked just fine. And I think Retevis is sending me a GMRS HT or maybe a mobile, I think, here in the next couple weeks. But Chinese quality is going up a lot, and the Chinese want to sell radios. Their manufacturers and their distributor companies are in business to do business, tariffs notwithstanding. And the Japanese, they don't give a shit. Let's just call it what it is. They don't give a shit. We make radio, you buy. We don't care. You know?
Yeah. And they don't know, and I say this with as much love as I can, they literally don't know what they're doing. And that's not a dig. It's just a fact. And they don't know what they're doing, and it doesn't stop them from doing it. And they're doing very well at not knowing what they're doing. And they're learning. And this is what's really funny about this is what we did. We made crappy products, imported a lot of dollars and exported a lot of goods and got better and better and better at it. And we, post World War II, you didn't want to buy a Japanese radio.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, Japan got really good quality. And history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, they say. And so look at Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight started out with ridiculously crappy tools that you knew was going to get you through possibly the entire job today, but not last any longer than that. And we flocked to them. And now Harbor Freight is neck and neck with, and even better in some cases, than some of the other tool manufacturers that are out there. And I wouldn't have a problem with a Hercules cordless drill versus a DeWalt cordless drill.
Yep. A prime example of Harbor Freight, and I don't have a recent one, but I feel that this has probably been fixed. I've had a couple of Harbor Freight drills, like T.O. was talking about. And they literally said, do not leave the battery in the charger after the light changes color because it shouldn't sit in the charger. I mean, it didn't have a trickle charge.
It'll explode.
Yeah. I think they fixed that. They've come a long way. And there's a lot of Harbor Freight tools that you could pay more, but why? Because it does the job, right?
This ain't Motorola. You can buy a better radio, but you can't pay more.
Right. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, Jason is talking about thinking about canceling his order for the 991A. Jason, that's up to you. Does it radio? Yes.
It radios. It does a lot of things really well, except for the screen and the waterfall speed. Everything else is fantastic. It's a great radio. Like I said, my beef is that they're selling it brand new today.
Yep. And I would not pay brand new prices for it. If you have your heart set on a 991A, you can find better deals than buying it new, certainly.
Yeah, we need more Shack in a Box radios.
Oh, and totally agree with that.
I have one radio now, 2 radios, 3? Yeah, wow, jeez. I have 3 radios now that do all band, all mode, and I still need more.
Jonathan's been a ham for 18 months and self-admitted, I don't know crap about tech, but he ain't scared. He is. He will.
Jonathan is my definition of ham. Just get out there and experiment and learn.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Tom, our friend Tom, WA2IVD, Kansas Tom, and Kansas Jeff, KS0JD. Yeah, Tom had his hooked up with homemade Tom cables. They rode all the way from Kansas to Huntsville and back with it. So.
And the truck didn't catch on fire.
Nothing caught on fire, and they managed to radio while they were mobile.
But that, honestly, that's because Tom has his crowbar circuit installed.
Right.
So he's protected from over amperage and over voltage.
Right. And LED, I don't disagree. I do not disagree.
What the 310 is.
Are you looking those up?
Yeah. So the 510 is the upgraded 500. The 310 is, I thought it wasn't digital. Yeah, monochrome screen, dual band. No, it is digital. Yeah. No, I guess the reason to make this is because you don't want to spend as much money on the. I'm not sharing the screen because I don't have enough information to share yet. I'm still researching.
Okay.
I'm
going to share
because you don't have
comments.
enough money to spend on the 500. Let me look up the price.
And Jeff points out that Tom has a video up on how to do the cable setup for the FTX 1F.
Okay, so the 510 is on sale for $600.
I think they are. I think they're in Austin, John.
I'm okay. And then the 310 is, I guess, a brand new product release because it's not for sale yet. I don't even see a reservation, which is normally what you get with these. Yeah, there's no 310. So the 310 is a digital version of the 150, and the 150 is an analog version of the 310. And so the question is that, you know, at 600 for the 510, it should be 200, 300 for the 310.
I think 200 is more like it. 250.
Yeah.
Is that and those are both dual band, right?
Yeah, dual band.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can get, let's see, the 2730. The white one is 329, and the black one is 350. The MA1 is 250, and I think the dual bander that Radiodity is selling is 250 or 260 as well. So I think there's, I mean, it's a little bit of price disparity for what you're getting. And neither one of those are digital. The 510 is digital. The 310
The
is
510
not.
and the 310 is digital. The
And
310 is a C4 FM
Okay.
analog looking radio. The 310 and 150 look exactly the same, just one of them does C4 FM and the other one doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, Lee, that's about what I was thinking. It's 350-ish. Gary, I don't even know what a 95 Mercury Tracer is, and I was alive then.
Ford Escort?
Is that
Isn't
a car?
that Mercury's flavor? Yeah,
I think
Mercury's
so.
flavor of the Ford Escort, I believe.
That's what I was thinking. I wasn't 100% sure about that. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up on comments, and we're over time, and
way over time. You got us ranting.
We did, well, we're talking about ham stuff.
Yeah,
we're talking about ham stuff, and the people are responding. Yeah, Gary Graham is talking about Pelican cases at Harbor Freight, which are Apache cases at Harbor Freight. They are the same damn case, and they work beautifully, and they are just as sturdy, and they're
good enough to get the job done.
They don't have the P word on them, so they're a hella cheaper.
I mean, you can see a difference between the two if you have them side by side, but for what we're doing, I'm not trying to drive a tank over my radio case.
Right. Well, I think, and this is a decision I made, and this is an old video, and I've thought about revisiting it and maybe redoing it. I built an ammo can radio case, right? A couple, 3-4 years ago. It's one of my very old videos.
It's a rite of passage. You have to do it if you're a hand.
Right.
Required.
And I was concerned originally about making it all waterproof and everything. And then it occurred to me, when do I anticipate sitting in a pouring rainstorm talking on this radio that I just have to do that? The answer is never. So it's not exactly waterproof. And the thing with the Apache cases, it's more for physical protection than waterproofing. And T.O.'s got one that he made that I think is jam up.
This is a battery box, and I did make it waterproof, but only because I want to close the battery box and put it in the back of the truck and not worry about it getting wet.
Right. Okay. I couldn't remember if you did waterproof it or not.
Yeah, I didn't unwaterproof it. But if I was making a portable radio box, I'd probably drill a hole in the top and put the SO239 panel mount connector on. Thank you, Dangerous Freedoms.
Dangerous Freedoms, welcome. We're glad you're here. This show is Sunday morning, also known as Ham Church. T.O.'s show tomorrow night that's T.O., temporarily offline, is Ham Nuggets, where T.O. and I will attempt to ham something for the first time without actually planning or reading the manual.
Yeah. I haven't even figured out what we're going to do yet.
Well, that was my next question, was what are we going to do tomorrow night?
I didn't know if I was going to have enough internet when I got here. I should have plenty of internet when I get here, and then I'll have plenty of internet for the foreseeable future after I leave this campsite, because I'm always traveling. If you guys don't know, I live in an RV, which is why the ceiling is curved. I don't know yet. I got to figure something out. I always have a ton of ideas, a ton of stuff to play with. I just don't know what it is. And we've got a super chat from CG from GQ.
I'm trying to hit it. There we go.
Yeah. And this is actually Ziggy's random mint, and it's for sale on my site because Ziggy and I are brothers. It is a 9-to-1 unun. So the BA in Balun and the UN in unun stands for balanced and unbalanced. And you can't have a balanced antenna if you only have one piece of wire, because antennas require two pieces of wire. So you're transferring from a unbalanced line to an unbalanced line, and during that transformation, you're going from a high feed point impedance to a feed point impedance that matches the radio. So scroll down. Those are the digital interface boards that we have. We got some new merch on the store.
Are these real people or are these AI people, Stephen?
Those are actually real people, and then the images were AI placed onto the peoples. And so this is the random. This is a 9-to-1, and it's using the green core, which makes it not a Rybakov, because a Rybakov uses a 4-to-1, and Coffee and Ham Radios, which is not this show, had a 9-to-1 antenna that, not a 9-to-1, had a 4-to-1 antenna that you could use in a Rybakov configuration that had the blue core. This
Right.
core works fine. It makes the transformation. And then the question is, how much heat can you do, or whatever? And this is not your typical core, but this is the whole point of ham radio, is to experiment with stuff and play with stuff and learn about the different stuff that goes on out there. So,
and Christopher, thank you for the $4.99 super chat, brother. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
And Tio's site is temporarylyoffline.com.
No, really.
Temporarylyoffline.com, which I am going to post in the chat because that's hard to type, and some of you probably can't spell that many words. It's hard enough to say.
Jeff wants to know who had the crowbar kit, since you got the website shared up.
Ham Radio A to Z. Let me pull that up. Ham Radio.
I'm constantly adding new products to the store. I put, I don't know, 4 or 5 on yesterday. I can't get, I think it's a-2-z.com or something.
Let's Google it. There we go. That's it. Tech, not
Eric
site.
says he's partial to the IRCHI antenna for 9-to-1, and that's the Emergency Amateur Radio Club of Hawaii, I believe. And they do sell a 9-to-1 kit, but that is using the normal core. And unfortunately, there is not a standard for what a 9-to-1 core should be. There isn't like, this is the official, you must do this or die. It's just, this is a 9-to-1, and this is what it does. And you're taking a non-random length of wire, which presents a non-specific feed point impedance, and trying to transform it to something that your radio or your external tuner can bring into match with 50 ohms so that your transmitter is happy.
So this is...
Wow,
this is,
yeah, I would never remember that.
Yeah, I can't remember it. Tom's marketing department is Tom, so, you know, he's an engineer.
He's an engineer.
Right.
Engineers and salespeople are two different talents.
So here is Tom's store, and he doesn't have a lot of stuff, but there is the crowbar kit. And this is a easy kit to put together. You only have about 12 or 15 surface mount solder devices that you have to mount. Oh, wait, I'm kidding.
No.
Those are, the surface mount crap is already in place. You have to put on the fuse block and the power poles, and that's about it.
Yep.
There's a embiggen picture of Tom's kit. And this thing is great. And you need to have this on pretty much any power supply, especially a switcher. Because of the way they tend to fail, the switchers are more likely to go bad and go full stupid, which is where this would come in. And you can set this, I believe, to 15 or 16 volts. Jeff, is that right?
Yeah.
Is this an older one?
Right above the 2 transistors. So you have the big fat one, and then you have 2 little ones.
Yeah. Let me.
There is 3 through holes, and that's actually a jumper configuration.
Yeah, there it is. That's it.
That's the fuse holder.
Yep. And you can set that for 15 or 16. I'm trying to plus this up, and it's going down. There we go. All right.
Yeah, so there's your fuse holder, and then go to the right or go down.
I'm trying to move the... So fuse holder.
And then he's got the jumper right there.
There's the jumpers right there.
Yeah, so you can use a jumper, which I don't think is provided in the kit, But look at the parts and that'll tell you. Or you can just use some wire.
Yep. And you could just solder bridge between them if you're going to leave it on. There's no point in jumping this. Set it to 15 or set it to 16 and move on. This isn't something you're going to be changing every day anyway.
There's no point in jumping in more than once.
Yeah. Right. So very.
And Tom
good,
is one of us.
Very cool Kit, and Tom is a cool kid. So we'll,
And next year, so this year at 4 days in August, which you guys were there or you missed, sorry we didn't get to see you, or hey, it was great to see you. Tom gave a presentation on it, and we were going to do some assembly, but Gigaparts didn't want us to do the assembly in their classroom. So next year, we're going to do it in a different location, and we are going to do the assembly.
Right.
Or some other kit, but or both.
All right. Let me catch up on chat, and I think I am caught up.
Yeah, Lucas, I've got one bolted on the back of my motorcycle, and I love it. I drilled 4 holes in the bottom of it to mount it to the rear rack, but it's waterproof up top. It's a little sun faded now because I got the yellow one to match the yellow color of the bike.
Hey, Luke. Good morning, buddy. Luke is one of my buds, my neighbors at Huntsville.
Luke.
Anyway, and Sarah makes a very good point. Oh, that's not the wrong comment. There we go. MFJ stuff is still going to be floating around forever. And we were talking about this the other day. The MFJ 993B tuner is a beast. I think the thing tunes like literally up to 6,400 to 1. Some stupid.
I thought it was 1,500, but I'm not arguing with you.
Either way, it's some stupid number. If you are tuning a 1,500 to 1 antenna, and I'm using air quotes on that because that would be very sketchy. I mean, jam a nail on the thing, it'll tune it. It'll make the radio happy. Yeah. You're not going to put out any power, but it's a hell of a tuner.
How many contacts you'd make on a nail tuned at 6,400 to 1?
Right. I actually
yes, you would make contacts.
We have a metal roof, and I actually got my jumper cables and rigged up to use the roof as the radiating element, and I made some 80-meter FT8 contacts on it when I had my 993B. And it's like 100 watts and 300 watts, so it's a great tuner. It's got 2 outputs and a random wire output on it. It's an excellent tuner. And that stuff's going to live on forever in Hamfests everywhere. Let's see. I think that's about it. So I am going to hit the button because we are way over time this morning, and I got to pee. T.O. is old enough. He's probably got to pee too.
So we got ham radio nonsense coming up later today, and we're going to take the Toads DI board that we showed you at temporarilyoffline.com, and Hayden's going to do direwolf stuff with it. And he's going to use the DI6 interface. So on Ham Nuggets, we actually built the circuit out on a breadboard and got it all working over the course of a couple of episodes. And that was a lot of fun. But we also sell the plug and play version, so you can just plug it in and do it.
Right. All right. Button engaged. Y'all, thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats. Have a great week. We'll see you guys tomorrow night on Nuggets.
Yeah.